Welcome to Data to Intelligence, your go-to channel for transforming raw data into meaningful insights using data engineering, AI, and cloud technologies. With years of real-world experience, this channel focuses on practical learning around Microsoft Fabric, Azure Data Services, data engineering, and AI solutions. Here, you'll learn end-to-end data engineering pipelines, Microsoft Fabric and Azure architecture, cost optimization strategies, real enterprise scenarios, AI and data integration use cases, hands-on tutorials and project-based learning. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced professional, this channel helps you move from data intelligence impact. Bell subscribe to stay ahead in data and AI.
Of Microsoft Fabric. Microsoft Fabric offers the following workloads, each customized for a specific role and task: Power BI, databases, data factory, industry solutions, real-time intelligence, data engineering, Fabric data warehouse, Fabric data science, and the last and the latest one is Fabric IQ. Fabric helps organizations and individuals analyze their data and create reports, dashboards, and machine learning models. It implements a data mesh architecture. Fix workspace roles in 5 minutes. Let's get in. Workspace roles let you manage who can do what in a Microsoft Fabric workspace. Microsoft Fabric Workspaces sit on top of one lake and divide the data lake into separate containers that can be secured independently. Workspace roles in Microsoft Fabric extend the Power BI workspace roles by associating new Microsoft Fabric capabilities such as data integration and data exploration with existing workspace roles. You can either assign roles to individual or to security groups or Microsoft groups or distribution lists. To grant access to workspace, assign those user groups or individual to one of the workspace roles such as admin, member, contributor, or viewer. Workspaces are places to collaborate with colleagues to create collections of items such as lakehouses, warehouses, reports, and create task flows. In this video, we are going to discuss about workspaces and how to manage access to these and what settings are available in Microsoft Fabric. Everyone in a user group gets the role that you assign. If someone is in several user groups, they get the highest level of permissions that's provided by the roles that they are assigned. If you nest user groups and assign a role to a group, all the contained users have permissions. In Workspace, admin role has full control. Admin can manage users, he can change the settings, he or she can delete the workspace. So overall, he has full control on the Microsoft Fabric workspaces. Along with that, he also gets the additional capabilities which are update or delete the workspace, add or remove people including other admins, add members others with lower permission, also allow others to reshare item. Along with that, he can also create modified database items, mirroring items, warehouse items, and also he can create the new feature workspace identity. So the admin role has full control on the workspace and its items. The member role in Microsoft Fabric Workspace has all the privileges of admin except few, which are: the role cannot update or delete the workspace. The role of the member cannot add or remove people including other members. So it cannot create workspace identity and cannot set up the connection to Git repository. Except these four and remaining all the capabilities of the admin, the member role can be done. Hi, let's talk about contributor role on workspace items. With contributor role, you can create and edit items, but you cannot manage access and you cannot share any items from the workspace. Contributor has all the capabilities same as member except these two. Viewer role is the least privileged role, and one can grant access and the workspace items. With this role, you can only get view and read contents of pipelines, notebooks, Spark jobs, definition, ML models, and experiments and event streams. You can also view and read content of KQL databases, KQL query sets, digital twin builder items, and real-time dashboards. Using viewer role, you can also connect to SQL Analytics endpoint of Lakehouse or the warehouse. Using viewer role, that we can also connect to read Lakehouse and data warehouse data shortcut with TSQL TDS endpoint, only read data. So this slide gives the summary which role you need to choose. So I have listed down all the four roles so far what we discussed, which are admin, member, contributor, and viewer. And admin comes with all the access. It has a full control across all the workspace items, and viewer has only least privilege. Based on your organization need and your workspace fabric governance perspective, grant the required access to the workspace items. Workspace roles let you manage who can do what in Microsoft Fabric Workspace. Microsoft Fabric Workspace sit on top of one lake and divide the data lake into separate containers that can be secured independently. So you have to avoid the common mistakes. More teams do this wrong. Most of the time, everyone in the team might have admin access. No viewer role, considering it has limited privileges. Sometimes we may need to wrongly assign the role to the team members. Keep in mind, whenever you are assigning any role, understand the project requirement. Based on the project requirement, what role is required to perform the task? Go with that role. So always try to give the more granular role in terms of workspace item privileges. Okay, so let's follow the principle of least privilege. Give only the access needed. You can either assign roles to individuals or to security groups. Everyone in the user group gets the role that you assign. If someone is in several user group, they get the highest level of permissions that provided by the roles that they have assigned. If you nest user groups and assign a role to a group, all the contained users have permissions. Okay, let's go through the simple chart which gives the best practice setups. From the chart, you can see admin role has been assigned to the team lead who can manages uh, the admin activity across the project, and core developer has been assigned to the member access, dev support team assigned with the contributor access, and business users who are only the consumers of data reports will be assigned with the viewer. So based on your project needs, follow the same principle, provide the least privilege to the required access. Hey, video episode 5, end-to-end data lifecycle in Microsoft Fabric. Rely on multiple disconnected services to ingest, store, transfer, analyze, and visualize the data. This fragmentation creates data silos, increases integration overhead, and slows time to insight. Microsoft Fabric addresses these challenges by unifying every stage of the data lifecycle into a single platform built on a shared foundation. The data lifecycle consists of 6 stages, and Fabric provides purpose-built tools for each, which are get data, store data, prepare and transform data, analyze and train data, track and visualize the data, and the last one is external integration. The diagram shows how these stages connect and which Fabric items participate at each stage. We'll discuss further on this in the upcoming slides. In the prepare and transform stage, clean, reshape, and enrich the data using low-code visual transformation or code-first notebooks and reusable functions without moving data out of OneLake. We can further transform the data by using either code-first engines or low-code tools, all within Fabric with no data movement between engines. The first one is Dataflow Gen 2, provides a low-code Power Query interface for data cleansing transformation, and enrichment. Notebooks offer a Jupyter-like environment for Python, TSQL, and Scala-based data engineering. User data functions allow you to embed a reusable custom Python logic that can be invoked from pipeline, notebooks, and activator rules. It also provides the reusability, flexibility, and efficiency, save time with reusable components. In this section, we are going to discuss how to analyze the data and train models. So use the prepared data to train machine learning models and perform advanced analytics. Fabric's data science workload provides an environment for building, training, and productionizing the machine learning models. In the Analyze Data and Train models, we are going to talk about machine learning flow experiments, machine learning models, data agents and operational agents, GraphQL API, Copilot for Power BI. Let's start with the machine learning flow experiments, which track model training runs with automatic logging of hyperparameters, metrics, and items. Machine learning models are registered in a machine learning flow powered registry for versioning, metadata tracking, and reproducibility. Data agents and operations agents let you interact with data by using natural language and act on conditions and pattern found. In the previous slide, we discussed till operations agents. So let's start with the GraphQL API, which provides a flexible data access layer for developers to query multiple Fabric data sources through a single endpoint. The last one is Copilot for Power BI, which uses generative AI for ad hoc analysis, DAX generation, and natural language data exploration. Let's summarize what we discussed in Analyze and Data Train model. So there are four stages, which are prepare data, train models, track experiments, and deploy and operationalize. The first one is prepare data. Organize and refine data sets so they are ready for machine learning workflows. The second one is train models. Build and train machine learning models in Fabric's data science environment for advanced analytics. The next one is track experiments, which uses machine learning flow to log runs, metrics, parameters, and artifacts for reproducible model development. The last one, so deploy and operationalize the models, which is register models, manage versions, and move them into production ready workflows. In this section, we are going to discuss about track training runs with machine learning flow experiments. So this includes log hyperparameters and metrics, automatically capture model settings, performance metrics, and run details for each training experiment. Track item across runs, record outputs, related items from every run to compare results and support reproducibility. Copilot for Power BI turns natural language question into AI-powered analysis and DAX. Ad hoc exploration with generative AI. This is uses generative AI for ad hoc analysis, DAX generation, and natural language data exploration. Let's wind up this session. Start building with Fabric. Train and operationalize machine learning models with machine learning flow tracking, model registry, data agents, GraphQL APIs, and Copilot powered analytics. In this section, we'll discuss about track and visualize data, comprehensive analytics solutions. Use the prepared and modeled data to create reports, dashboard, and real-time alerts, which are Power BI reports, translytical task flows, real-time intelligence dashboards, Activator, and Fabric IQ. Okay, so let's start with Power BI reports. Power BI reports provide interactive data visualization built on semantic models with distribution across Microsoft 365 apps like Teams, SharePoint, PowerPoint, and Excel. The next section in track and visualize data is translytical task flow in Power BI, which take action directly from reports, call user data functions. Its seamless workflow integration provides enhanced productivity. The important feature in track and visualize data is real-time intelligence dashboards, which monitor streaming data with sub-second latency by using KQL queries and visual authoring. It's monitoring live operational views 24/7. Query language is KQL. Dashboard authoring is visual. The sub-second latency is less than 1 second, which is great. Let's discuss about the activator action triggers. Activator detects conditions in streaming data and triggers automated actions such as Teams alerts, emails, or Power Automate flows. One of the important feature in this section is Fabric Intelligent Quotient for AI-powered reasoning. So it includes data mapping, shared ontology, AI agents, and business context. Data mapping includes maps the enterprise data, connects domains and terms, aligns source systems, builds a shared business ontology, standardizes the key definitions, and creates a common understanding. AI agents enable a reason grounds output in your data, support context aware actions. From the business context perspective, it provides full business context, improves relevance and trust, scales across the enterprise. Okay, so let's close the section. Track, visualize, and act on data. What are the capabilities? It builds Power BI reports and semantic models, share insight across Microsoft 365 apps, take actions with translytical task flows, add Fabric IQ business context for AI. What are the next steps? Monitor streaming data in real time with KQL. Use Activator for Teams, emails, and flow alerts. Start with one dashboard and alert scenario. Expand to enterprise reporting and automation. So with this section, we completed how we can track, visualize, and act on data. In episode 6, we are going to discuss about the Microsoft Fabric Workspaces.
Workspaces are places to collaborate with colleagues to create collections of items such as lakehouses, warehouses, and reports, and to create task flows. This article describes workspaces, how to manage access to them, and what settings are available.
Hi, in this section, we are going to discuss about how to create workspaces. From the video, we can see different options available in the Fabric URL where you can see monitor real-time workloads and workspaces. So each option comes with a lot of information you can go through to understand further. And also let's start with how to create workspace, which I have already created for the training purpose, but I'll show one more time how to create. So in the Fabric workspace, you click on the new workspace and you can provide the appropriate name based on the project. For now, I'm just giving um, some name for demo purpose, and you can add any name. So, and you can also provide description what this workspace used for and what's the main purpose of this workspace in terms of the project requirement. You can also add domains based on the business pillars, how a project is assigned, and you can see different adding the users. Like as in my previous video, already I discussed about different access level in the workspace, so you can assign the appropriate one. And also you can see the workspace setting. Workspace setting includes all the properties including the workspace tags, workspace capacity, contacts, and workspace OneDrive.
By default, workspaces are created in your organization's shared capacity. When your organization has other capacities, workspaces including My Workspaces can be assigned to any capacity in your organization. You can configure it while creating a workspace or modify it after creation in the workspace settings. Workspace types are organized into two categories: Power BI workspace types and Fabric workspace types. Workspace admins can configure dataflow storage to use Azure Data Lake Gen 2 storage and Azure Log Analytics (LA) connection to collect usage and performance logs for the workspace in workspace settings. When you create a workspace identity, Fabric creates a service principal in Microsoft Entra ID to represent the identity. An accompanying app registration is also created. Fabric automatically manages the credentials associated with workspace identities, thereby preventing credential leaks and downtime due to improper credential handling. Microsoft Fabric provides several layers of inbound network protection to help organizations control where inbound connections can originate when accessing items and data. Managed virtual networks are virtual networks that are created and managed by Microsoft Fabric for each Fabric workspace. Workspace outbound access protection in Microsoft Fabric lets admins secure the outbound data connections from items in their workspaces to external resources. Folders are organizational units inside a workspace that enable users to efficiently organize and manage artifacts in the workspace. When you create a workspace, it's assigned to a capacity. The capacity that new workspaces are assigned to by default is determined by the capacity type and/or by the configuration of Fabric or capacity administrators.
You learn how to create and delete a lakehouse. Prerequisites: a Fabric workspace backed by a trial or paid capacity, with contributor or higher workspace permissions. If you don't see the option to create a lakehouse, ask your Fabric admin to assign capacity to the workspace. To create a lakehouse, open your Fabric workspace. Select New Item. Search for or select Lakehouse. Screenshot showing the Lakehouse option in the new menu. The Lakehouse Schemas checkbox is selected by default. Schemas let you organize tables into logical groups, for example, sales, orders and marketing, campaigns, instead of placing all tables in a single flat list. Clear the checkbox if you don't need schema-based organization. Select Create. The Lakehouse opens in the Lakehouse Explorer pane. Ways to load data into a lakehouse. The following sections describe each approach: file upload, shortcuts, dataflow general 2, data pipelines, notebook code, and event stream, ordered from the simplest no-code option to more advanced programmatic and real-time methods. Shortcuts let you reference data in a lakehouse without copying it. Instead of ingesting data from another source, you create a pointer that makes the data appear as a local folder or table. Deleting a lakehouse removes the lakehouse item, all its data, the associated SQL analytics endpoint, and the semantic model. To delete a lakehouse, open the workspace that contains the lakehouse. Find the lakehouse in the item list. To create a shortcut, open a lakehouse and go to the Explorer view. Select the tables or files. Materialized lake views turn complex lakehouse transformations into fast, reusable, query-ready assets that accelerate analytics and reduce compute usage. Results are persisted as Delta files in OneLake and refreshed automatically via schedules or event triggers, delivering dependable, up-to-date data. The SQL Analytics endpoint gives you a read-only TSQL query surface over the Delta tables in your lakehouse. Every lakehouse automatically provisions SQL Analytics endpoint when created. There's nothing extra to set up. Behind the scenes, the SQL Analytics endpoint runs on the same engine as the Fabric data warehouse, so you get high-performance, low-latency SQL queries without managing infrastructure. The SQL Analytics endpoint operates in read-only mode over Delta tables. You can't insert, update, or delete data through it. To modify data, switch to the Lakehouse and use Apache Spark. Within that read-only boundary, you can query Delta tables with TSQL, run select statements against any Delta table in your Lakehouse, including tables exposed through shortcuts to external Azure Data Lake Storage or Amazon S3. Create views, functions, and stored procedures, encapsulate business logic and reusable query patterns in TSQL objects that persist in the SQL Analytics endpoint. Apply row-level and object-level security. Use SQL granular permissions to control which users can see which tables, columns, or rows. Build Power BI reports. Power BI semantic models can connect to the SQL Analytics endpoint through its tabular data stream, TDS, endpoint, so you can build reports over your Lakehouse data. Query across workspaces. Use OneLake shortcuts to reference Delta tables in other lakehouses or warehouses, then join them in a single query. Workspace roles define what users can do with Microsoft Fabric items. Roles can be assigned to individuals or security groups from Workspace view. For more information about how to manage workspace roles, see Give users access to workspaces. A user with the viewer role can only read data stored in tables using the SQL Analytics endpoint. Sharing a Lakehouse also grants access to the SQL Analytics endpoint. Workspace admin and member roles can share by default. Workspace contributor and viewer roles can share only if they're granted share, reshare, permission on the Lakehouse. Recipients have access to your organization tenant and can receive sharing links. You understand that sharing grants read access only. It doesn't grant workspace membership or write permissions. By default, sharing a Lakehouse grants Fabric read permission on the Lakehouse and the associated SQL Analytics endpoint. Deleting a Lakehouse is permanent and can't be undone.